your fighter.
Lightning inspired.
Fight.
The absolute 100% truth to any one question, what question would you ask? You would get the, like, you know, God himself would come down and give you the honest answer.
Ooh.
It could be anything, historical, personal.
I don't know what the question is, but what I want to know is basically like what the actual goal of the American government is. Because it's like, we see the systematic racism, we see that putting black people in prisons makes them money. We see that when we go to war, them producing the guns and the tanks and the clothes and all that stuff, like someone's getting paid off of that. And it's like, I just really want to know like what's behind all of this, who's behind all of this, like how this money's being circulated and why it's the goal versus like having people actually prosper and be happy and stuff. Like, why keep people like down and negative and fighting when you could like have them thriving and still make money off of them? Like,
Right. Like, there's positive ways to make money. It's crazy
Yeah.
that some people choose. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's such a deep topic. We could probably have a whole nother hour talking about that, because yeah, it's there's so many connected pieces to that puzzle, right? Like the military-industrial complex with like private prisons, and it's like
and
all
health system.
Yeah, health.
Let's
and
give people drugs.
right,
Make them
exactly.
feel better, like.
Right, and it's all so connected in this like
Yeah.
disgusting web of like profit and exploitation, and like I said, we could be here for like a whole nother hour talking about that stuff. So
Yeah, I don't know what my question would be, but
I
I
understand.
want to find out those
I understand what
answers.
you're saying. Yeah, like kind of get an analysis of that, and then figure out like how do we. I guess the question was, how do we flip it around to that positivity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there anything we could do to switch the tide, or you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
type of thing. Because it could be depressing to think about some of the stuff. All right, let's pretend there's a giant billboard right there.
Yeah.
If you could put anything on that giant billboard, what would it be?
All right. As a joke, obviously, you know, I'd say Africa.
People that know would be like, oh shit, that's Fufu sign.
Africa. It's something I'd scream
That's
and
his
yell all the
signature.
time.
His signature phrase, or not even phrase, just
yeah. My shout.
yeah.
But I think I'd have something along the lines of, don't let anyone else make up your mind or your feelings until you see and discover something for yourself. Something along those lines. Like, basically, because like my whole thing is like, the only thing you actually know is the shit you experience. Anything else is something that you've heard or you've read or you like, even if it's historical fact, it's something someone else writ down that you haven't experienced yourself. So like my whole thing is like, I'm not gonna form an emotion or like a feeling or anything like that, at least too strong. Like, obviously there's some stuff where it's just like, you can see some shit happen.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like
I've never met Donald Trump, but I can safely say I don't like the man. Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. But like when it comes to like little things, it's like you don't really know something until you go somewhere. Like imagine like for example, like if all you knew about Thailand came from you watching The Hangover, you would think the whole place is just like dudes riding on elephants and ladyboys like swinging their dicks around everywhere. Like, that's what you think like all of Thailand is, because that's all you've seen, that's all you know. So it's like, I feel like once you actually experience something, then make up your mind on it, then make up like an emotion. And like even then, it's like just one time. Like, you can go somewhere and have a bad time, you can meet someone and have a bad experience. It doesn't mean it's like always going to be a bad experience. It could just be that one time. So yeah, be something along the lines of like don't let someone make up your emotion or mind for you. Like, experience it first. I don't know exactly how I would word it, but
I get the message behind it. Yeah. But it's a quick sidebar related to what you said. It's interesting how much media influences people's perceptions of people. So perceptions of places and people. Like, I was talking to a good friend of mine, like childhood friend, a couple weeks ago, and I said something like, oh yeah, I'm about to, like, when I get off the phone with you, I'm gonna go across the street to the mall to like get something. And then he's like, oh, mall, like malls like we have here? And I'm like, yes, bro, it's probably nice. It's actually nicer than the mall. He's like, oh, okay. And I think it's just because when he thinks of Chiang Mai, he just sees like temple pictures and people riding elephants. Don't ride elephants. But anyway, like, you know, and so they have this picture in their mind that it's like rice patties and like whatever, and it's like, yeah, that is here, but that's not the only thing that's here. You know what I mean?
Nah,
so
100%. Like, and the same thing happened. Like, I think I was in the airport, and like, you know, you just get into conversations with people, and like we're just talking about where we came from, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just came from Vietnam, and like the guy's like, why? Like, like, did you get shot at? Like, is it like he didn't say that, but like from his expression, he's thinking like the Vietnam War is still going on right now.
Right.
But yeah, like it's just
it's media, man.
Yeah, media plays a huge role. And like that's what was bad for Colombia was like Narcos. Like even though it was like a good show, a good film, people just thought like, oh, me go to that place where everyone's getting shot every day? Like
yeah, it's nuts. You know what else is crazy to see is people who are actually from certain countries, but they've been living in the U.S. or outside the country for a long time, and they're like they have that view of their own homeland. I've seen that happen too.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what? Like
you can see it in the comments, like in the comments, and especially with the Colombia video, Medellin video, with Passport Heavy. People are like, oh, thank you so much for making this video for my country. It's like I didn't even know like all of this stuff about the place. I didn't know like we had all this stuff and everything like that. So like, yeah, no, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah,
definitely a thing.
It's nuts.
And it almost goes back to like the first thing I was saying about when I first came to Bangkok. It's like, at least I can't speak for anywhere else in the world, but with America, it's like we're always fed like America's the greatest. You don't need to go anywhere else. You don't need to travel anywhere else. Like, go to Hawaii. That's like you're this.
Right.
Go to New York. Go
it's
to Florida.
That propaganda's strong.
Yeah. It's like there's other great places in the world, but like in America, they're just like, nah, those people are weird. Or it's like you can take a picture with them, but like they're different. They're not like they're not the greatest like we are. Like in America. Nah, I'm not putting down America. I fucking love it.
Yeah. But it's
there's other great places.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's definitely. I mean, America has its own awesome places I've been to a lot of really cool places in the U.S.
Yeah.
But it's just again, it's that bubble of where like people need to get outside of that bubble.
Yeah.
How do you define success, personal and professional?
Success for me is like me being selfish is being able to live the life I do now. Like I'm able to have an apartment that's comfortable. I can travel, I wouldn't say all the time as much as I want, but I can like, if I want to go somewhere, I can go somewhere. I can eat food, and I can help my family. Like as long as I'm able to do those things, like I have the money to do that, then I find myself successful. And then after that, it's just kind of bonus. Like if I'm able to do fancy or dope shit, like that's cool. Like as far as like business, like yeah, I wouldn't put a number on anything. Yeah, it's just more so lifestyle because it's like, what are you doing with the money besides lifestyle if it's you spending it? It's like I can like say like, oh, I want like 5 million or 20 million, but it's like if I'm doing the same shit, like what's the difference? Like I think just being able to help more people that would be amazing. But yeah, like as long as I'm able to help out my immediate family and anyone that's like close to me, and I'm able to still live my life, like, and I don't live crazy. That's success for me. Like if I'm not able to do that, then that would be my form of success.
Cool, good answer. Yeah, and I think also to tap into that is like, I think success is also like a fluid thing, right? Because it's like we always make new goals, then you achieve those goals, and you make. So success isn't just like, okay, I achieved this and I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? And it's over. Yeah, it's like, so I think success is a very fluid thing, you know what I mean? So definitely. So you live this travel lifestyle. You've been living it for a while. You love it, obviously. You're 30 years old right now.
Yeah.
So how do you view like, I guess the topic of like settling down? You're like, do you ever, like you've seen so many places and there's something, you know, like.
That term for me is just, it does something to me. Like, it's funny. I always talk to mostly women about emotions, and I'm like hungry, horny. Like I don't. But I'm like that. When I'm playing Call of Duty, like I understand emotions. Like when I get pissed or whatever. Like that is just like settle down to do what? Like to go to some society and live within what they think I should do and all that type of stuff. Like Because I feel like that's what, at least when Americans say that, it's like, when are you gonna buy a house? When are you gonna start a family and pay a mortgage and have a car and invite people over for birthdays and Thanksgiving? Like it's cool to do that, but I still want to be able to travel and shit. Like that, yeah, I don't know. Like for me, settling down.
It's a difficult question, but would there be a particular country you'd be leaning towards where you'd have like that would be your home base?
Yeah, I would say between my favorite countries here. Actually, America would be a choice though. Like America would be in there. So it would be 4. It'd be Thailand, it would be Bali, or Indonesia, Colombia, and America. Between those.
Which makes sense because that's where
yeah. And all those places, like, if I was in America, I wouldn't live in Chicago where I grew up because I don't like cold. I wouldn't want to be in cold. Like, I want to be close to my mom and stuff, but I think I would move her out somewhere warmer, like, if she wanted to. And yeah, everywhere else is pretty dope. So, yeah, if I was to like have a place, probably be one of those 4.
Okay. Cool. Dope. Fu, thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Likewise, definitely. So I'm gonna put Fu's all his Instagram, his YouTube, all that stuff. Also that Passport Heavy Chiang Mai guide that I mentioned. That's all gonna be in the description. Stay tuned for more great content from Passport Healthy. Myself, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Deuce.